Alright, what's up? We back. Another video. Easy to eyes. My thoughts. We gonna make it make sense. Today we watching resellers have lost their minds by not tripping. Let's check it out.
Only two words come to mind when I think of any reseller in 2026. Delusional, schizophrenic. If you spend enough years convincing yourself that chasing the next trend is a legitimate career, you eventually lose the ability to distinguish entrepreneurship from pure opportunism. Whether the depraved nature of reselling as full employment started back during the pandemic, where scalpers would hoard toilet paper and disinfecting wipes, to years later that being random novelty items like Stanley Cups, PS5s, or Funko Pops.
Remember they was doing that tissue paper? People were literally buying tissue paper in a crisis. I was selling it to people for more money. I wonder what they was gonna do with that, with more money.
Even to the most popular niches of
At that time of the crisis, yo.
Pokemon, sports cars, sneakers, or Labubus. All of these have something in common, that being a wave, a trend wave that comes and goes in a matter of a week, a month, or maybe a year. A reseller's delusion drives them to incredible lengths trying to rationalize this lifestyle, convincing themselves they're entrepreneurs while their entire income depends on whatever product the internet decides to obsess over next. They don't care what they're selling because they never cared about the product in the first place.
It's like DoorDash for entrepreneurs. As soon as you get hit, oh, they want this, you stack up as many as you can, try to sell as many as you can. Next thing you know, they want something else. Now you gotta sell off that merch or whatever. It's just, you got a big old inventory.
If tomorrow lawn chairs became the hottest collectible in America, they'd suddenly become lawn chair experts overnight and have a garage full of them. The hobby is irrelevant. The culture is irrelevant. The community is irrelevant. The only constant is the relentless hunt for the next trend that can be exploited before everyone catches on.
I'm so happy they done with sneakers. They getting it done with sneakers, man. Goodness.
Instead of building something with long-term value, they're trapped in an endless cycle of refreshing Discord monitors, entering raffles, chasing restocks, waiting out in front of stores at 3 a.m., and praying another manufactured shortage appears before the last one dies. Every wave eventually crashes, yet rather than looking inward and questioning whether that this is a manufactured shortage appears before the last one dies. Every wave eventually crashes. Yet rather than looking inward and questioning whether that this is a sustainable way to make a living, they simply convince themselves that the next trend will be different, the next flip, the next craze. It's an endless treadmill of self-justification disguised as entrepreneurship. This brings us to today's video, a video by our good friend Kais Omar that I wanted to react to, where sneaker resellers attempt to explain why they aren't the reason they killed off sneakers and the market. You'll quickly see their argument completely falls apart the moment any logic is applied.
Do you think resellers are to blame for the sneaker market being kind of dead?
No, that's Nike's fault.
You'll hear this
It's
with
Nike's fault.
every reseller interviewed in this video, that it's Nike's fault. How though?
Nike?
Yeah. It was booming and there was more resellers than now.
Yeah.
It's all Nike and then just people not in the economy, not having money as they used to, of course.
Yeah.
It was booming and there were more resellers then than now.
People not having money.
Excuse me? Are you retarded or something? And the classic blaming the economy. Suddenly we're taking sneaker resellers' advice and they're being treated like economic professionals.
People ain't had the money because they already overspending on stuff that ain't worth what they spending. And they all liabilities. They are not assets. Shoes are not assets. Literally is only a luxury. So that's why it went down. People started realizing, oh, I got bills to pay. I can't. That's why it went down. And y'all was charging so much for shoes, man. Reselling was crazy. Prices coming off supply and demand. Pretty much people doing supply, charging whatever they can, and if it ain't selling, then it's going down. It's ridiculous.
Okay. Really strong argument coming from someone who looks like this and probably dropped out of high school.
I think really it comes down to
Who looks like this?
you gotta know what the price point people want to pay. It's not very high right now.
Yeah.
Well, to that point, I do agree. No one wants to spend $500 on a resold sneaker when they know its actual market value is the price that Nike released it for, that being for a fraction of that cost.
You're seeing
Even Nike be doing that supply and demand. Like, they be having, I think I heard like some new Jordans came out at cheaper prices, you know, because they're hearing people saying they don't want to pay that much if they're not getting all the premium features, paying premium prices for cheap prices, cheap products. For example, real fast, I got them Vomero 5s. Those are not $170 sneakers, yo. Those are not $150 sneakers. Yes, they feel good on feet and then all that, but the materials, they look like $80 sneakers. $80 sneakers, man. The materials is not all that. It's not even that much material on it. It's just supply and demand. Everybody doing it, really.
things that should be going for more, going for less. Like I do live auction selling.
Yeah.
Things go for a lot less than they probably should.
Yeah.
That's simply consumers becoming smarter over the years. They've realized that many sneakers have larger stock numbers than anticipated, frequently receive restocks, and almost always lose their hype as new releases flood the market every single week. As a result, resale prices tend to decline rather than climb. Consumers are no longer in that manic rush to overpay a reseller the next day the shoe drops they missed, in which resellers are artificially inflating the price to capitalize on the fear of missing out.
Nike was literally making so many pandas.
Yeah.
They dropped the market on that, for example.
It's funny hearing resellers blame Nike for releasing more sneakers. Isn't that just crazy? They're blaming Nike, as if Nike exists to protect resellers' profit margins instead of selling shoes to actual customers.
Real fast, imagine you go buy every pair of the newest Jordan and then Nike restocked on you. You know what I mean? It's a very risky game.
I built this website in 5 minutes with Wix.
It's a very risky game, so just imagine that. Opportunists versus entrepreneurs.
Like, resellers, you guys are like 1% of the market here. Somewhere along the way, resellers have convinced themselves every release was meant for them to flip, not for millions of people who simply want to buy the shoe at retail and wear the sneakers on their feet. Take Panda Dunks that they gave an example of here. During the peak of the hype of them, resellers were asking $350 all the way up to $500 for a shoe that retailed around $100. That wasn't the shoe's true value. It was artificially inflated, created by scarcity and FOMO. So resellers capitalized on that consumer mindset with their own greed. When Nike restocked the Pandas numerous times over
Them red joints kind of straight. I ain't gonna hold you.
the years and made them widely available, they didn't kill the sneaker. They killed the reseller premium cost that they were exploiting.
But the resellers get blamed for that.
Yeah.
So
She says resellers got blamed. Blamed for what? The criticism wasn't that resellers existed, it was that they convinced themselves Panda Dunks were somehow worth $500. Once Nike made the shoe accessible again, that illusion disappeared and
$500.
their profits tanked.
It is financially irresponsible for you guys to buy anything Jordan or Nike related for retail. Irresponsible.
That honestly, that's pretty
It's
true.
literally no excuse. It makes no sense to me why you would do that.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Is this guy smoking crack?
That's what I'm
How is it
saying.
irresponsible as a consumer to buy a Nike or Jordan sneaker at retail price? So what? It's somehow more responsible to buy the exact same shoe from a reseller for double or triple the price?
These boys is betting their lives on these shoes, man. These resellers is
That logic makes no sense.
betting their livelihood.
Even if you miss out on a sneaker at retail, that's still a problem created by limited supply and resellers, not by the consumer trying to buy the shoe. Yeah, bots are still a problem when you try to buy any sneaker online still. The average person just wants to wear the sneaker they like. They're not treating it like a stock portfolio or an investment, thinking of its value a few months ahead. They want to wear a damn shoe. If anything, buying at retail is the most responsible option because you're paying the manufacturer's intended price instead of rewarding someone who contributed nothing besides inserting themselves between Nike and the customer.
Nike determining that.
Yeah.
They're determining the price points. They're determining how many units they make. It's all a market. It's all economics.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
It's very simple. So if they want to produce more stuff, naturally, stuff's going to be less valued. It
Yeah.
just naturally is.
Yeah.
And now you see how everything's going for retail, under retail, people, shoes sitting on shelves.
At the end of the day, the sneaker market didn't die because Nike suddenly became evil, nor did it collapse solely because resellers existed. It died because years of artificial scarcity, speculation, and greed transformed sneakers from something people wore into something people traded like stocks. Nike eventually responded by producing more pairs.
They literally have a website called StockX where they treat the shoes like stock, yo. The last so people bet they livelihood, man.
To satisfy actual consumer demand, while resellers refuse to accept that their profits were never guaranteed in the first place. And this just isn't for the sneaker market here. This can be applied to any hobby or any niche that is being exploited by these greedy resellers. But here's the reality for resellers. If your entire business model only works when ordinary people are forced to overpay for products they can't buy at retail, then your business was never sustainable. It was a temporary opportunity built on market inefficiencies. The sneaker market didn't fail because consumers got smarter. It failed because the bubble finally burst. And for the first time in years, the average person, not the reseller, is finally winning.
Me being a
Shout out to the average people. Shout out to the modern man. Shout out to the average, far from the average. But shout out to him though, because have resellers lost their mind?
Only two or
So, what y'all think? I want y'all to know who y'all think is to blame, Nike or the resellers? You ain't even gotta put why. You just put. This is a video of versus. You know, you got Nike versus the resellers, the entrepreneurs versus the opportunists. Technically, they're not really. Then we need to have the death of FOMO. Death of FOMO is really gonna help with these prices. FOMO is the fear of missing out. You can't have fear of missing out. You can have fear, but you gotta face that fear, yo. And it's okay if you miss out. They're gonna remake them. You can resell them. You can, whatever. But what you so afraid of? Which brings me to my next mechanism, which is risk versus reward. What's the risk versus the reward? Is the risk worth the reward? If it ain't, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that was probably worth, the risk was worth it, but now it's a little too late. Everything gets saturated. Remember we just did a video how they was reselling air conditioners in Europe. You feel me? It's getting big out here. It seems like everybody wants to be a boss, but all bosses aren't made equally. You feel me? That's why you choose your certain companies and you rock with them for their customer care, customer service, and all these warranties that they got, because everybody's not the same. And you want to shop with people who gonna treat you like family type thing. And pretty much ultimately it looked like nobody wants to work, man. People, whether to make their invest, which ain't nothing wrong with it, you know, making their investments and then trying to get their money. But you also gotta realize that's business talk. And when businesses, they sometimes lose profit and sometimes they lose more than profit. So it's revenue. I'm Ezey the Eyez. These are my thoughts. Just make it make sense. Have resellers lost their mind? Let me know down in the comments. Peace. Alright, welcome to Ezey the Eyez. Today we are looking at Rogue Robot launches Kung Fu kicks while handler attempt to subdue it by the New York Post. We also got another video we're going to be looking at today in this combo. This one's only 2 minutes long, so let's dive right into it. Rogue robot launches compy pics. You can't tell me. You can't tell me this robot don't know where it's kicking at, yo. The incident follows other moments of AI robots malfunction and causing havoc. Let me see if I can increase the... No, that's how they go. But that robot was kicking with purpose. Running back real fast. Look at this kick. Right. You too. Hold up. Right. Throw it out. This video, all you hear is people laughing. Humans is so funny to me, man. I just had to say that. A young boy was accidentally kicked in the stomach by a performing robot during a martial arts demonstration. Right. Bro. Dang. Almost knocked the robot off his feet, didn't he? I would have to beat that. I would have to beat that robot, I'm sorry. A dazzling robot at a restaurant in San Jose, California broke down mid-dance. I don't know what dance is doing. I wonder what makes people laugh at things like this, man. Obviously, it's something different, and that's just like maybe the first initial reaction, but if this was any other type of product in your business, it would not be funny. Russia's first humanoid AI robot lost its balance and fell face first during the walkout. Definitely face first. Developers said this mishap was a learning experience as the robot attempted to wave to the crowd before toppling over. I don't think I've seen America in this yet. A lot of overseas countries, dozens of humanoid robot runners competed in the Beijing half marathon. Except one runner who malfunctioned and fell at the start line. It must have been made out of foam. It fell immediately. One more time. The impact is crazy.
What's it?
I didn't really see any American robots on there, which is, I ain't gonna say abnormal, but they definitely, different countries is in motion with these technologies, these robots, these AI humanoids, whatever you want to call it. They definitely got some motion in it. We got to find some American robots to check out to see if America is even competing in the area or the region. All right, this is a scene from Prometheus, which is a movie about humans going to go find their god. They found a planet that resembles Earth. Then they travel out there by spaceship to go meet their creators or makers. Very good movie, Prometheus, if you haven't seen it. I believe it's in the Alien and Predator series, but it's kind of like a different something. But let's check it out. Why the Prometheus engineer creates humans just to kill them. Let's see what they say. Speaking of creating stuff for no reason.
This is the face of a god who overslept 2,000 years, only to find out that the very species he was sent to exterminate has now evolved from this to this. And their main representative is a decrepit billionaire and his super AI, demanding the engineer reveal the secrets to reach immortality.
You and I, we are superior. We are God. Gods, and gods never die.
So, the engineer kills them all.
Told you. I go
But
tell.
why? You see, for years, this ending has confused people.
Go check the movie out. It came out 2012, 6/08/12.
Because why would the alien species that began life on Earth, creating humans in the process, want to come back thousands of years later with biological weapons of mass destruction and eliminate us?
And it was meant for us. Why?
Sure, enough, for God's sake, shut her up.
Was it? I need to know why. What did we do wrong? Why do you hate us?
What exactly changed their mind? Some theories say that the human race was simply an experiment to the engineers. Others say it's because the engineers see humans' rapid technological progress as a possible threat to themselves. But these aren't the real reasons. In fact, the actual reason that the engineer woke up and immediately chose violence can be traced back to a specific line of dialogue in a deleted scene. And after reading it, you will
In a deleted scene. So how can it be?
realize that the engineers basically did nothing wrong. Before discussing the deleted scene, we must break down what the movie tells us about the engineers and what it doesn't. So starting with what we do
I would have expected him to be a lot taller, like at least 8 to 10 feet tall, maybe.
know, an engineer is dropped off on planet Earth near a waterfall. He consumes a black goo that forcefully breaks his DNA down and is then reformed underwater, presumably starting the chain reaction that led to humans on Earth, meaning that in this universe, the engineers are essentially our god. Cut to 2089, after archaeologist Elizabeth Shaw discovered traces of the engineers' footsteps. She and a crew of scientists, space explorers, and corporate giants, all fueled by their own self-interested goals, fly out to meet these engineers.
There's only 6 hours left of daylight. Why don't you leave it till the morning?
Oh, no. It's Christmas, Captain. And I want to open
My
presents.
Stumbling upon one of their ships and a lonely engineer sleeping, the crew discovers that
Yeah, I know he was the first one to die. He was like one of the first ones to die.
the ship was armed with enough biological weapons to destroy a planet, and it was headed towards Earth. The ship was to arrive on Earth 2,000 years ago, but we can attribute the delay to an accidental outbreak of this biological weapon within the ship, explaining
Aliens.
why only one engineer remained. And after surviving an infestation of their own, the crew returns to the ship with even more questions than they arrived with, the main one being, why were the engineers going to kill them? A question that the movie never answers, but the deleted line of dialogue does. After returning to the alien ship and waking up the engineer, Peter Wayland commands his super AI, David, to translate and ask the engineer why they created us. The engineer says, "Many worlds have been crafted by the hand of our fathers, through the blood of our Lord. Yours was the only one that was successful, the star child of the universe. Yours is the only star child that is like our home world."
What did he say?
David translates, "They made our planet perfect like theirs." But after Elizabeth Shaw interrupts the conversation with,
This is why you don't need no translator. He said all of that. Many worlds made, and yours the only one that survived, star child of the universe. And the only thing he said back to him was, they made our planet perfect like theirs. I think they tried to make them all perfect, man.
our planet perfect like theirs. But after Elizabeth Shaw interrupts the conversation with her own questions, Peter Wayland has his security assault her. And in a deleted scene that was actually recorded, Peter tells the engineer that he also is a god and deserves to live forever.
We are gods, and gods never die.
Continuing to the deleted lines, the engineer responds to this by saying, "Hate, we gave you this emotion. We gave you all emotion. We had expected naught of your evolution. We took care of you, gave you fire, built your structures. We gave you Aiden. You worshipped us. We praised our
We gave you Eden.
creation from above. We watched you time and time again kill each other, start wars. We came back and saved your souls, but we left you to make your own fate. But your kind is a barbaric, violent species. We tried once more to save you. We took a mother's child back to paradise and educated him, taught him the meaning of life and creation. We put him back into Eden to educate your kind, but your kind decided to punish him. We gave you the fruits of life, and you repay us by leaving it to rot."
Don't it kind of sound like some biblical stuff? They gave you Eden. They took a woman's child, sent them back, and you punished them. Don't that sound like some Bible type stuff? Or maybe I'm tripping.
You talk of me of hate? The mother's child being none other than Jesus Christ. That's right. In the Prometheus universe, after witnessing the continuous violent nature of humans, the engineers decided to kidnap a mother's child, taking him back to their home planet, educating him in their superior ways, and returning him to Earth, in the hopes that he could be humanity's savior and course correct their path. Unfortunately, that mother's child was then crucified. This explains why the arrival time for the ship to get to Earth was
that the Green Goblin?
And crucified. This explains why the arrival time for the ship to get to Earth was 2,000 years prior, shortly around the time of the crucifixion, a trajectory that was delayed by the black goo outbreak. So when the engineer, who was most likely a high-ranking military general with a sole mission in mind, is forcefully woken up by the very targets he's supposed to get rid of, how else was he supposed to react?
Wait, real fast, man. This is humans. They be doing too much. Look at the W on his hand. You did not have to put that in his fingerprint. I think he was created by his company. This is a humanoid, and it was created by some company that started with a W. But they doing too much. You gotta put it in the fingerprints. Got too much time and money on your hand, man.
Who is most likely a high-ranking military general with a sole mission in mind, is forcefully woken up by the very targets he's supposed to get rid of. How else was he supposed to react?
Straight to business.
But what do you think? Look.
Straight to business. What y'all think about this? Y'all think this movie is worth checking out? I think it is. A lot of high level conversations, I suppose, in certain levels. It's called Prometheus. Came out 2012. Y'all should go check it out. Comment below what y'all think about this. I think he did a perfect time describing the movie so far. You know what I'm saying? This could have been like a little trailer. Good movie though. Definitely go check it out. Prometheus. Shout out to Alfie. I'm Ezey the Eyez. These are my thoughts. Just make it make sense. Peace.